Hey y'all, it's another episode of No Makeup Monday. I was going to talk about RBG this weekend and post around that, and I have to say, I've decided not to. I have really strong political opinions, and I had really strong feelings, emotions that bubbled up when I heard about her death, and I hugged my children. I hugged them closely. But that's not what this is. This is a forum to help you learn to manage your emotions, whether you are political or not, whether you are conservative or liberal, whether you are engaged in everything that is happening around this upcoming election or willfully checked out because you can't deal with it. This is a forum to help you remember that you have the ultimate ability to handle, manage, and control your emotions in such a way that allows for growth, that allows for you to contribute in a meaningful way to our world. And I talked about that last week, and I'm going to talk about it today. So many of you, myself included, have been sucked into this weekend's news. And indeed, Ruth Bader Ginsburg's passing is sad. She, whatever your political views are, was a very important person in our country's history, and she will never be forgotten. But we don't have to make this more than it is. Last week I told you to look around. I told you to notice if there were fires, notice if there were storms, notice if your current day-to-day was being affected by the political turmoil in our country. And if the answer to those questions was no, then pause, be mindful, and move forward in a meaningful way that contributes, not in a panic-ridden way. And I'm going to give you the same advice this week, and I'm going to be boring on my No Makeup Mondays. But I hurt for you when you get pulled into that emotional reactivity because you feel like you're doing something. You feel these feelings, you feel this stress, you feel this fear, you think these thoughts, you see the hypocrisy or the incongruity in what seems to be happening around you, and then you go to social media and you post and rant. And what does it do? It further divides us. And what progress are we making as a country? Not a lot. More important to me, what is happening in your own life? You're living that stress and that anxiety. And I know that's not a way to be productive. And beyond productivity, it's not a way to be healthy. And it's not a way to be there for yourself, and it's not a way to show up for your family or your patients or whomever you're there for. So what do? We get news about Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and we feel deeply sad, afraid, anxious. If you're on the other side of the political spectrum, you feel maybe anxiety around what comes next, what opportunity lies ahead. It doesn't matter. On either side of this, you're feeling these feelings that aren't necessarily helpful. That's natural. We have to acknowledge those. We have to notice those in our body. I talk on the podcast about interoception. Interoception is the act of feeling within the body the physical sensations associated with emotion or with an actual physical process. Interoception is step one. Feel your feelings, acknowledge and honor them. I feel a lump in my throat. I feel a burning in my chest. I feel a tightness in my breathing. Then you take that breath. And you notice in your mind what thoughts are contributing to this feeling cascade. And this is where you go to the practice that I teach in the podcast. You journal. You write down the thoughts and the associated feelings. You take it out of your brain and you put it on paper. And then you don't have to do anything else. You can dig into it, you can explore, you can write pages. Or you can just leave it in your journal, put that aside, and move into your world. This morning, after I took my son to school, I went and I meditated outside. I did Qigong, and I sat in the cool air as the sun rose, and I practiced mindfulness. Now, if you're thinking, must be nice, it was. And it happened because I made it a priority. This week, that is your only homework. Instead of reacting to the world around you, make mindfulness a priority, and then you're going to shift your ability to be present in this world and be a powerful